I got genuine love for the sport. I got respect for the sport, and I'm just a warrior. I really just don't see myself doing anything else other than fighting.
Boxing. All right, Brooklyn, New York City. We got a special guest, Khalid Twaiti, brother. How you doing, man? Got a massive fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
A couple of weeks now, 2.5 weeks away. How you feeling?
I feel great. I'm ready to go. You know, I've been putting in that pain every single day. So come October 12th, I'm ready to dish some pain out.
Yeah. So Emmanuel Rodriguez, Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Fights at super bantamweight, right?
Yes.
So at this point in your camp, you've been boxing a long time too. Right. I mean, since what you were like, I've known you since you were about 14,
right.
But you've been since 9?
9.
Okay, so with the last two or 3 weeks of a massive fight with camp, how does that work for, like, how do you wind down and sparring and stuff like that? You got another week of pretty hard stuff going on?
Yeah, so we just closed up. We're about to close up the 3-week mark. We got 2 weeks after this. So basically, we're just gonna cut down on sparring, cut down on everything is just a little chopped down.
Right.
You know, you don't want.
Fine-tune.
Yeah, exactly, and just making sure you're staying sharp and just keeping your eye coordination and your lungs open.
Yeah.
And just, you know.
There's a science to it, really.
Absolutely,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
You don't want to completely stop everything and just fully relax.
Right.
They got to be like a little median. And for me personally, bro, I just like to keep going because I don't know. It's just a mental thing. I just like to stay in the flow of things.
I think it's a reinforcing a positive mental thing.
For sure.
And you stop sparring a week before, you think, and then just keep ticking over.
The fight week, I don't spar, but the week before fight week, I do very light rounds.
Yeah. And
I cut down on the rounds.
Hitting the bag a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I stay sharp with the pads. And I'm still hitting the bag, but like I said, just cutting down on the rounds and just focusing on staying sharp.
Talking of hitting the pads, I've got some footage that I'll play in between this. We're not going to show too much, but I've got some nice footage of you and Don earlier today. Thanks for letting me shoot.
Of course.
And in terms of sparring, you've been sparring Elton, right? Elton Gary?
Yeah.
You got any other partners in the gym that
I've also been sparring a couple of other guys, sharp guys, very fast, very technical, and also heavier than me as well. So I've noticed a big increase in my power as well. Okay. So I'm ready to deliver.
Yeah. Because you're really, Don was saying you're really a bantamweight, right? Or a light bantamweight, is it?
Yeah.
Flyweight, okay. And this fight is a bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
So is this the first fight you've had at bantamweight?
No, it's not the first. I've had a couple before. Okay. I've always fought at my walk-around weight, 123, 124, 125. I never really lost weight and came back up, so I never had any size advantage.
I was about to say that, bro. Ever since I've known you, you've looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I've never had any size advantage, so I'm looking forward to putting on a few pounds after this fight, after the weigh-in.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
So your style, I was watching a little bit of footage last night, and I thought to myself, I was like, I couldn't remember if you were a southpaw or not, but then I was like, after watching it, you switch hits so seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's like, talk to us about that, because not many fighters can switch hit like it's so natural to you. I know you're not really, you're not southpaw, but you probably could.
To me, it came pretty natural. I've definitely worked on it over the years.
Really?
But I've been switching since a young kid. I've watched people like Prince Nassim.
He was your idol, weren't you?
Yeah, definitely one of my role models.
Yeah.
Someone that, inspired me in the game of boxing. So I've just, it came to me natural. I just was doing it and tried it in sparring, and I don't fear going that way. I feel very comfortable, and I just go for it.
It's very fluid when you do it. I was like, man, he just switches. Some people try to switch southpaw, but it doesn't have an effect. I mean, they're kind of ineffective when they do it.
And I definitely do it at certain times. It's not like I'm just switching southpaw just to switch southpaw.
But you are orthodox, so by nature. Okay. And you've been training with Don, obviously, since you came in. Well, you started with Cat, actually.
I started with Cat. I was training with Cat for like a year or so. and then he had to go away for some stuff.
Yeah.
So I was always working with Don, even though I was working with Cass. So it was just like a natural.
Yeah. How's the bond between you and Don? I mean, it's pretty thick, isn't it?
Man, he's almost like a second father to me. He's someone that I trust with all my heart, and I love with all my heart as well.
Yeah, it's like the bond between fighter and trainer is deep, but like I feel like with Don, especially when he's been training you for so long, it's just like it's unbreakable.
Yeah,
he's like a father figure.
100%, definitely like a father figure.
And it's like watching you guys train today, like you would never know you've been training for so long. The energy and the spark is still there. I know you've got a big fight coming up, but the passion, I mean, his passion for the sport is immense.
Yeah.
It must exude through you though. Yeah?
Absolutely, for sure. You know, as fighters, we definitely need, it's great to have someone that just like believes in you and just like is constantly pushing you, constantly making sure that you're doing the right things. So I always value that relationship that I have with Don.
Definitely. Yeah, me too. He's a mentor of mine.
Right.
As soon as I came in the gym, you know, he's got this infectious energy.
Absolutely.
You know, like, who's that guy, man?
Yeah, very likable guy.
Very likable.
If you don't like him, then you got a problem.
It's your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the problem.
Exactly.
So basically, I'm trying to think about this opponent. I watched a little bit of him. Do you know much about him? Have you been studying him?
I mean, honestly, I don't really study too much of my fighters. I don't watch too much videos. I watch a few, get to like know their style, get to like
on the fight,
and then I'm the type of fighter where you'll see me one fight a certain way, then the next fight I'll fight a different way. You know, so I'm always gonna bring something different. I'm always gonna adapt and adjust to whatever my opponent brings. So them trying to study me is tough because come fight night, depending on what they bring, it's gonna bring something different out of me.
Yeah, I was actually gonna touch on your style. It's very cerebral. You're a very intelligent fighter, and like you have a lot of speed as well. And you box, you think in there.
Right, 100%.
When did you know that you were that kind of a fighter? Because I feel like IQ is such a special thing in boxing that not every fighter is ever going to get there or get that. When did you know that you were a smart fighter like that?
I mean, I've always knew, honestly, since I started at a young age. I was never the type to just throw punches without thought behind it. Everything was always calculated. And I've always been inspired and admired those type of fighters as well. You know, I just appreciated the skills and the pure science of boxing.
Me too. Absolutely. Oddly enough, they're underappreciated, really.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they practice the pure science of the sport to hit and not get hit, but they never really, because they don't have that open blood and gut style that most fans love. But if you want to survive in this game, you know, you've got to be a lot smarter. And fight intelligently.
And you want to have a healthy life after boxing as well.
That's true.
So you gotta make sure that.
Speaking of that, switching lanes a little bit. Did you watch the Anthony Joshua fight this week?
I did. That was a crazy fight, man.
Like, I mean, what do you make of that as a boxer? Because like he did everything you were told not to do on the first day.
I mean,
chin out.
At that level of boxing, you can't make certain mistakes, and if you make certain mistakes, you're gonna have to pay the price for it.
Especially dropping your hands and keeping your chin in there.
100%, and coming in recklessly, you know. And he paid for the mistakes that he made, and that's just the elite level of boxing. You gotta come 100%. You can't be a beat off.
What do you think about his mindset? Because I think, for me personally, he just never looked like he looked terrified of Dubois. He didn't really look like he believed in his punches, and that kind of transcended to his performance as well. He didn't really. He looked like an amateur in there. Was it a mindset thing, or what? What do you think it was?
I think mine definitely has to do a lot with it. I don't know if I'm not too sure. I can't really speak on that, you know. But as a fighter, we definitely go through a lot. There's a fight out the ring, and there's a fight of your own in your mind and in your heart. So you got to be able to conquer your heart and your mind before you get inside the ring and conquer your opponent.
And for boxing, for as long as you have, there must have been not love and hate. I don't use the word hate, but you must have been through moments where boxing's a lot. It's tough. I mean,
absolutely, for sure. Any fighter that tells you otherwise is lying to you. boxing is an up and down sport.
Yeah.
One day you might come in the gym, you might get your ass kicked. The next day you might kick some ass.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to give it and take it.
Yeah. And the training too.
Absolutely.
Grueling training camps, year after year, staying in shape.
100%.
How have you dealt with that? How have you managed to do that?
It's tough, but I got genuine love for the sport. I got respect for the sport, and I'm just a warrior. You know, I really just don't see myself doing anything else other than fighting. This is the most challenging, most difficult thing. I'm a college graduate as well. You know, and
wow, juggling those two. Together is a busy schedule.
So boxing it by far is definitely the hardest thing that anybody can do.
100%. And the crazy thing is, you're embarking on an even stiffer path right now. You know, you're going into a tougher opponent for the first time. You're going to, after potentially when we win, then you got bigger fights, and it gets the path gets harder.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'm ready for it. You know, I've had a crazy journey so far, and I'm grateful for it because all it did was prepare me for moments like this. I'm excited for it. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. Like, I just want to be able to showcase my talent to the world. I want to prove myself to the world, and I don't want no other route. I want it the hard way.
Wow. Oh, I was about to say, if you got any words for the camera, say them now, but you just said them. It's a great way to end, bro.
I love you all. Stay tuned. We got big, great things coming. Soon to be world champion, inshallah.
And I'm going to put a bunch of footage together. I'll put some shorts out. Guys, like it, subscribe, follow him on Instagram. I'll leave his handle on the screen. And bro,
my man,
best of luck. My pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Slip, hook right. Slip, hook right. Boxing.